basically, if you look at the keyword here, why the vascular tissue is categorized as complex permanent tissue. Okay, because here, complex permanent tissue means that the permanent tissue has more than one type of cells, which are trachea. Okay, for xylem, it consists of trachea, vessel elements, xylem parenchyma, and xylem sclerenchyma. Okay, so among the four types of cells can be found in the phloem also, which consists of sieve tube elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers. So all these are the four types of cell can be found in xylem and phloem respectively. For the trachea and vessel elements, they are water conducting cells. It means that among these four types of cells, right, the first two are responsible in the water transportation. And we know that water is universal solvent. So when they're able to transport the water, they will also transport the dissolved mineral ions. So water can be transported throughout the body of the plants, and both trachea and vessel elements, they are dead cell at functional maturity. Okay, because both are lignified cell. Okay, dead cell at functional maturity, that means they have lignin, okay, in the secondary cell wall. Okay, so these two also able to provide, okay, support to the plants, and which is the structural support, because they make the plants always stand upright. Okay, for the phloem, right, since that we are talking about vascular tissue, so we always related with the transportation. If trachea and vessel elements are the water conducting cells, so in phloem, right, the sieve tube elements will be the sugar conducting cells. Okay, they were responsible to transport the sugar, okay, from the site of photosynthesis to other parts of the plant that require it or store it. But at the same time, there's another cell which is important to the phloem tissue, which is the companion cells. Okay, companion cells, they will help to provide energy for the active transport, okay, to move the sugar into the sieve tube element. Because the sieve tube, the sugar will be synthesized by photosynthesis at particular plant cells, such as mesophyll cells. So when it has been synthesized in a specific cells, it will be transported into the sieve tube elements. Then only can be moved to other parts of the plants. Okay, so how the transportation can be initiated? Macam mana bermula? Okay, kena diangkut melalui active transport. Okay, satu proses yang memerlukan tenaga ATP. Okay. So other than that, right, you notice both xylem tissue and phloem tissue, they have their own parenchyma. Okay. We have learned the parenchyma in ground tissue. So if the parenchyma is located near to the xylem, it's called as xylem parenchyma. If it's located at the phloem site, it's called as phloem parenchyma. Okay, the structure very similar to other parenchyma. That means the parenchyma cells located at other region, such as the cortex of the root, okay, the pith. Okay. Characteristic means that, like we have learned in the ground tissue, such as the thin, okay, primary cell wall. They have the large intercellular spaces, okay, and also they are living cells. All these characteristics are similar. Just the difference is the size is smaller. Okay, same goes to the last one. Okay, both xylem tissue and phloem tissue has their own sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, we have two main types, which are the fibers and scleric. So in phloem, right, okay, the sclerenchyma is the phloem fibers, okay, which is like a tube-like structure. So since that there are a type of sclerenchyma, the characteristics are very similar to other types of sclerenchyma also. That means they have the thick, okay, lignified secondary cell wall. They are tightly arranged to each other. There are also dead cell and functional maturity, means that the protoplasm, the nucleus already degenerated. So whenever we notice, we come across with the lignified thick cell wall, right? So we always related with the function, which is protection and support. So this sclerenchyma in both tissues, the function is to protect and support the vascular tissue, yes, near to them. Okay, these two are water conducting cell. That means they are the cells contribute to the functions of xylem tissue. Okay, so if we study their structural characteristic, right, both of them are quite similar. Why we say so? Because if we look at the shape, okay, both like tubular cells, both are tubular cells. That means they like a tube. Okay, like a tube means that they are hollow tube. Iaitu kat tengah-tengah dia ada lumen. Okay, hollow tube. So setiap kali bila kita nampak cells tu ada lumen, right, we know that they are dead cell at functional maturity. Okay. Dead cell at functional maturity always correlate with the presence of lignified cell wall. Kalau lignified cell wall, the cell wall must be secondary cell wall. Okay. Okay, so other characteristic, okay, since that we mentioned about tubular, right? So they always associate with the elongated, okay, elongation, okay, elongation. So you can see that the cells, both trachea and vessel elements, they are, okay, they are thin and tube-like structure, okay, dia nampak memanjang. But very special is they have the pit at the cell wall, okay, along the cell wall, the secondary cell wall. Okay, apa maksudnya pit kalau kita tengok ya? Both trachea and vessel element dia ada pit. So form 5, right, we have studied that pits actually is a, okay, in the secondary school time, okay, we know that pits are thinning region. Okay, dia bukan lubang yang betul-betul ya, kelas, walaupun lukisan dia macam lubang tapi sebenarnya bukan. Dia adalah satu kawasan di secondary cell wall yang menunjukkan penipisan ya. Contoh ya, now we have one trachea. Ini adalah satu trachea kelas. Ini satu trachea yang dia macam satu tube. Okay, so you have to imagine near to it there's another trachea. Okay, another cell of trachea. Okay, so when these two cells they arrange close to each other, right? Okay, nampak jelas sikit. Okay, okay, saya ada the cell wall they are arranged close to each other ya. Okay, yang green color ini adalah primary cell wall. Okay, primary cell wall. Seperti saya hari itu kata primary adalah cell wall yang muncul dulu ya bila pembentukan satu sel. Okay, tetapi disepakati sekarang kita study tentang trachea and the vessel element which are dead cell with the lignified cell wall, right? So we know that they will develop their secondary cell wall, which I draw with the red color one, yeah, lignified cell wall. Okay, so this is the cell wall of one of a neighboring cell. Ini cell wall untuk sel pertama. Ini cell wall untuk sel kedua. Okay. Okay, so pit maksudnya kawasan ini. Secondary cell wall tu menunjukkan penipisan di kawasan tertentu. So, kegunaan pits ini ialah memudahkan ya pergerakan air secara lateral. Iaitu the water and the dissolved mineral can move like that. Secara lateral. Vessel element, they will arrange next to each other, okay, with their structure. Okay, with their structure. So you can understand that, okay, it also show the pits along the cell wall. Yeah? Even though both are water conducting cells, but vessel element is always termed as more efficient in water transportation. More efficient means that they transport the water faster. Okay, di sini dia punya parameter dia kata lebih cepat. Okay, why they able to transport faster than trachea is because of a few characteristic. Yang paling utama ialah this one. Okay, kalau kita study ya, they have the perforated end wall. Okay, end wall ni, okay, kita tengok kita punya vessel element kan, dia adalah satu sel yang macam tube. Okay, macam tube. Okay, kita ada cell wall yang ada pips, tetapi di hujung dia kita panggil dia end plate atau end wall. End wall ialah di hujung sini. Dia bukan cell wall yang tutup sepenuhnya. Macam dia punya end wall mengalami satu degeneration juga, kemerosotan ialah dia ada develop lubang yang besar ni. Okay, so this big holes, right, in botany we call it as perforation. Okay, perforation is a large opening. Okay, opening yang besar, large opening. Okay, so the end wall with that characteristic, we call it as perforated end walls. Kekuatan perforated end walls ialah, okay, tadi I show you how they arrange, okay, side to side. Okay, macam mana xylem vessel tu boleh side to side. Tetapi sebenarnya, as I say, they are a tube-like structure, right? So they also will join end wall to end wall. So this is another xylem vessel, okay, at the bottom of the first xylem vessel we study. So their end wall will join side to side. So you imagine the water can transport easily from one cell to next cell because the large opening. But trachea, no, yeah, trachea, this one they do not show here. This is the end wall. The end wall do not have the large opening. Okay, this is the first characteristic. So they ease the movement of water. Dia memudahkan pergerakan air dengan kurang geseran disebabkan dia ada large opening. Okay, another one why they move faster, the water move faster in vessel element is because the diameter. Okay, diameter which is wider. Okay, all this contribute to the less collision, less resistant, rintangan yang kurang dan pendek, shorter. So the water movement complete the one cell journey is faster. Dia pass from one cell to the next cell is faster. And thinner wall, okay, kalau study sekali lagi dengan details kan, dinding dia nipis okay, banding dengan trachea. Maksudnya kalau kita tengok keratan rentas, okay, here is the trachea actually is thicker. Less taper dah kita tengok hujung dia. Okay, trachea lebih meruncing. Okay, meruncing. And this one less. Okay, kalau kita tengok dia punya slanted tu. Elements mean cells. Okay, mean cells. So untuk xylem tissue kita ada vessel elements. Untuk phloem tissue kita ada sieve tube elements. Okay, so sieve tube elements actually is the sugar conducting cells in phloem tissue. Yang selebihnya iaitu companion cells, phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma, dia ada fungsi dia masing-masing. Kebanyakan cells dia adalah living cells, kecuali phloem fibers. Okay. Dia songsang dengan xylem tissue. Xylem tissue, kebanyakan cells dia adalah dead cell at functional maturity, except the xylem parenchyma. So phloem tissue cells involved in the sugar transportation, which are sieve tube elements, and also their supporting cells, the companion cells, right? They are living cells at functional maturity. Dia maksudnya dia masih menunjukkan protoplasm dia. Protoplasm dia tidak merosot sepenuhnya. Okay, so we call it as living cell at functional maturity. Tetapi masih ada tetapi iaitu walaupun sieve tube elements they are living cell at functional maturity, right? But you notice they actually have no nuclei. Okay, have no nuclei in their thin cytoplasm. Dia masih ada cytoplasm dia tetapi bukan sebanyak seperti plant cells yang lain. Okay, dia memang tinggal sikit sahaja quantity of the cytoplasm dan nukleus sudah merosot sebenarnya. Okay, tujuan dia mengalami degeneration sedemikian because they need to adapt for the sucrose transportation. They need to provide a less resistant environment ya, satu ruang, satu keadaan yang tidak banyak rintangan supaya sucrose tu bergerak dengan senang. They need to be transported to the sieve tube element, but the transportationnya need to be add by companion cell, kena dibantu oleh companion cell. Jadi companion cell adalah betul-betul living cell. Sebab kenapa? Dia punya protoplasm masih kekal seperti sel yang lain, iaitu nukleus dia nampak, cytoplasm dia pun ada. Walaupun di sini lukisan dia nampak gemas, cantik, bersih, tetapi sebenarnya student have to imagine in the cytoplasm have other organelles also, such as the ER, mitochondria, and so on. This is the, you have to remember, even though sieve tube element are living cells, but nucleus is degenerated, the cytoplasm still remain in low quantity atau kita kata narrow ring. So the structure like a tube. That's why dia nama dia sieve tube. They are elongated cell, with the tube-like structure, but it's not hollow. Dalam dia tak hollow, iaitu bukan lumen ya, bukan lumen sebab dia ada cytoplasm. Dan dia ada end wall, end wall yang ada perforation, ada large opening, tetapi di sini dia bagi nama khas ya, iaitu sieve plate. End wall dia nama dia sieve plate. So di sini ada dua sieve plate yang baris yang untuk sel pertama iaitu sel atas, sieve plate yang untuk sel bawah. So dia seolah-olah macam satu kita punya macam kita kata penapis atau tube yang turas tu ni. Kamu imagine this is one sieve plate of the first cell, and then at the bottom with the sieve plate of another cell. They attach end to end ya, hujung ke hujung, tetapi kalau kita study betul-betul, dia ada perforation to enable the movement of the sucrose from cell to cell. So sucrose boleh bergerak dengan senang melalui perforation ini. So this is the main characteristic of the sieve tube element. Tetapi mengapakah kita ada satu lagi sel yang living diberikan nama companion cells? Sebab dia merupakan sel rakan ya kepada sieve tube element. Sieve tube element dia tidak boleh mainkan fungsi dia in the sucrose transportation kalau dia ada sucrose. So macam mana sucrose boleh diangkut ke dalam sieve tube element ini? Sebenarnya dibantu oleh companion cells. Sebab companion cells dia ada mitochondria, dia ada mitochondria yang boleh hasilkan tenaga untuk mengangkut sucrose dari mesophyll cell ke dalam dia punya cytoplasm, lepas tu pass kepada sieve tube element. In the beginning of the chapter 2, right, plant cells different with animal cells. The main feature is plant cells have the cell wall, and at certain part of plant tissue, the plant cells they show a microscopic channel. They arrange close to each other. Here you can see the untuk menunjukkan dia ada degeneration. Dia mengalami degeneration also untuk menunjukkan ada ruang kosong ya supaya sucrose boleh bergerak dengan mudah juga. Xylem, we always remember they will be transported. They will be involved in the water and mineral ions transportation. So we know that the water is absorbed at the root part, di bahagian akar. Di bahagian akar. This is why when we talk about the water movement, right, it's always upwards. Selalunya satu arah. From root to shoot. Mengapakah dia boleh bergerak against the gravity, selalunya menentang gravity iaitu ke atas, sebab berkaitan dengan proses yang kita panggil dia transpiration. From tissue, they involve in the sucrose transportation, iaitu the disaccharide we studied before. Sucrose will be produced after the photosynthesis. Maksudnya photosynthesis menghasilkan glucose dulu ya sebenarnya. Photosynthesis hasilkan glucose dulu. Lepas tu certain glucose will be transformed into the fructose. Okay, dua-duanya enam carbonnya monosaccharide. And then they will combine to form the sucrose. Okay, which is the disaccharide, a bit larger size, size dia lebih besar. So bila dia dihasilkan, the leaf part, and then they will be transported by they will be, loaded into the companion cell. Okay, akan diangkut dalam companion cell. Companion cell akan loaded into the sieve tube element melalui active transport. Bila dia masuk ke dalam sieve tube element, now you can notice that the sucrose, which is represented by this circle, moving circle shape here, it can be transported in both ways. Both way maksudnya ke atas, iaitu dia ke kawasan yang memerlukan sugar untuk metabolism, terutamanya growing region. Okay, kawasan yang masih menunjukkan proses boleh membahagi, okay, the cell division, iaitu apical meristem tu atau tempat yang akan membentuk buah, okay, growing region. Okay, and this one, they can move downwards also. Kenapa dia bergerak ke bahagian akal? Sebab akal selalunya adalah bahagian kita kata dia tempat simpanan. Okay, food storage. Both xylem phloem, they will be found in a structure called as vascular bundle. Okay, dia macam satu package. So vascular bundle is a unique feature can be found in the flowering plants. Tumbuhan yang berbunga memang menunjukkan vascular bundles. Are the two classes of flowering plants. Okay, and we also study this the diagrams about them. Okay, how the vascular bundles can be scattered or can be found in different pattern in both classes of plants. But okay, we use the example of dicot plants because it's very easy to catch up the idea. Okay, so a plants, okay, as the beginning of this chapter, we notice that plants have the three main parts, which are roots, stem, and shoot, right? Shoot we always represent with the leaf. Okay, daun dia. Okay, so you can notice that xylem phloem will be found or packaged in the vascular bundle, but if we study their cross-section, okay, the cross-section of these three parts of dicot plants, right, we notice the pattern is different because they have the reason they packaged like that. So first of all, you look at the xylem tissue. Okay, xylem adalah tissue, ya. We look at the xylem tissue. Okay, xylem tissue, we always focus on the two main cells, okay, which are the trachea and the xylem vessel. Okay, xylem vessel, di sini dia tulis vessel tapi sebenarnya xylem vessel. Okay, so macam mana kalau kita buat eksperimen tumbuhan kan, saya bezakan trachea dengan xylem vessel ialah, as I stated just now, vessels elements, they have larger diameter. So structure yang dia ada lumen yang besar ni, they are the vessel element and surrounded by a group of the trachea which have narrower lumen. Okay, lumen dia kecil. Okay, kamu nampak ya, since xylem tissue, majority of the cell are dead cell, okay, after dead cell at functional maturity. Maksudnya they have the lignified cell wall atau thicker cell wall yang sangat kuat. Dengan itu kamu tengok taburan xylem, dia selalu membentuk di tengah, di bahagian akar, sebab dia nak pastikan support diberikan dengan lebih berfokus, okay, lebih berpusat. Because we know that for a tall plants or for a tall building, base is very important. Tapak sangat penting. Jadi root taburan xylem itu akan berpusat di tengah, okay, supaya kekuatan untuk tumbuhan tu bertumbuh secara tinggi tu ada. Tetapi bila dia masuk ke kawasan stem, when they move on to the stem part, right, we notice that the xylem, the vascular bundle, they will arrange in a ring form. Dia akan susun dalam satu bentuk gelang, iaitu dia dekat dengan tepi stem itu. Kita kata edge. Okay, dia macam susun tengah di tepi atau di sekeliling, okay, stem tu, tetapi xylem masih menghadap ke tengah. Okay, untuk pastikan kekuatan ya daripada secondary sawok ini di tengah juga untuk memastikan stem tu boleh memanjang against the gravity. Tetapi bila dia masuk ke shoot part, right? Shoot part, kita tahu, kita nampak ya xylem sekarang, xylem tissue ni dia akan menghadap ke to the upper surface of the leaf. Okay, upper surface of the leaf. Sebab kita tahu upper surface of the leaf always face toward the sunshine. Dia menghadap kepada matahari. Dengan itu, kita tahu dia ada satu structure we study before, which is the stomata, enable the water loss as the water vapor. Okay. So tadi saya ada highlight why water able to be transported from root to shoot is because the process transpiration, the loss of water vapor through stomata. So this is how the distribution of the xylem. Okay, that's why you notice at the root part, di bahagian akar, okay, the amount of the phloem is not so much. Okay, phloem tissue masih ada tetapi tidak banyak. Okay, dan mereka akan found alternate in the xylem tissue. Kita dijumpai selang-seli dengan xylem. Tetapi kuantiti dia tak sebanyak xylem. Sebab phloem tissue dia terdiri daripada sel yang kita kata living cell at functional maturity. Terutamanya yang kita study sekarang ialah sieve tube element dan juga companion cell. Okay. Okay, jadi mereka punya taburan sedemikian sebab dia nak pastikan setiap sel yang berdekatan tu dapat the sucrose for the metabolism. Dan root actually is the part we say more to food storage. Okay, untuk simpan makanan ya. Maka dia punya what we say the phloem tissue is not so much compared to the xylem. Okay, so when we move on to the stem part now, the phloem, you can see the phloem here, phloem tissue, they will face outward atau kita kata dia face towards the epidermal. Okay, dia menghadap kepada epidermal, bukan epidermal, kita panggil apa tu, dermal tissue. Okay, they face toward the stem because they want to support the growth of the stem also in future. They provide the food. Okay, so same goes to the distribution of the phloem at the leaf. Tadi untuk xylem menghadap ke upper surface untuk transpiration and phloem menghadap ke lower surface.